Hey guys, Jimmy here. Today what I'm going to be covering is how Facebook and Instagram ads changed my life for the better. So it was just a couple of years ago, back in 2018, we had a small 109 square meter facility where we're doing one-on-one personal training and a little bit of small group training out of. Business was going pretty well. We're profiting about $5,000 to $6,000 per month. At that stage, myself and my business partner at the time were paying ourselves a salary, and life was all going like reasonably well. For a young, 25, 26-year-old. So we always had this massive dream of opening a bigger facility. So we wanted to run one-on-one training, group training, have a place to bring sporting clubs into and make a massive community so we could help more people. At that age, we were dreamers. We dreamed very, very big. And it was one of our strong suits, but it also sometimes became a very big weakness extremely quickly. When we moved to this new facility, which was 520 square meters, at the time, we weren't able to get any funding from banks and things like that. For those who know me, my mum passed away when I was 2. She committed suicide. My dad had issues with drugs during his life. So I didn't really have any family to lean on to be able to get, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to open this facility. And I didn't really have a backup measure in place either. So what we did is we invested our life savings at the time into this facility. Cost about $113,000 to build out. So when we moved into the facility, you could imagine what our P&L was looking like. So, you buy all the equipment, the flooring, the rigs, all the rowers and things like that. We're losing a lot of money every single month because we're reinvesting back into it. And I had a fundamental error within my calculations that what I thought at the time was that if I built the facility, people would come. That this new amazing facility that I invested so much time into, that I had such a big vision for, that just simply because we built it, that it would fill up very, very quickly. And it didn't. So after a couple of months of opening this facility, we were still losing money. We still had expenses coming out because we didn't really calculate it, how much it actually costs to build a facility. These little things like paying 3 months bond and stuff like that, which is quite considerable. On a lease, it was $104,000 per year. And I didn't know how to fix it. So I remember very, very vividly, we were sitting on a beach at North Curlco on the northern beaches. That's where I'm based. And we're looking over from South Curlco Beach down to North Curlco. A really amazing view if you guys ever get there. It's probably my favorite beach on the northern beaches. And I remember we're sitting on the back of a ute, and I didn't know how to tell my wife that we were about to fail. I didn't know how to get out of the pain that we were in, and I had no idea how to grow our business because I knew that we needed to increase our revenue because we had just quadrupled our rent. Then the next Friday, luck really favored me. Now, I believe in life that you create your own luck. So I consider what happened to me very, very lucky, but also I was the one who went and, bought a seminar for one day off a mentor who had scaled 6 facilities. And within that whole day of training, it was like a big, massive sales pitch to get them to sign up to their program, which I believe was $12,000 for a year. They talked about one simple concept for about an hour and a half, which was paid ads. So this mentor had been able to scale multiple facilities. He was like a multi-millionaire from running paid ads at the time. And in that seminar, something clicked. I said, in my mind, this is what I need to do to get out of the pain that I'm in. So I remember at the end of that seminar, I signed a contract for 12 months for $12,000, which, in hindsight was the best move that I ever made within my life. But at the time, I remember driving home from the city, trying to figure out how I would justify this to my wife because she knew how badly our business was going. But then also as well, how to justify it to my business partner, because it's very, very hard to kind of swing these decisions around when you're losing considerable amounts of money. Now, I didn't actually ask him whether I could do the course. I just did it. I believe in life sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than acceptance to do something that you believe is right. And from that moment, from the deep amount of pain that I was in, about to quit, about to leave an industry that I absolutely loved, because as a child, I was incredibly overweight and fitness helped me find my happiness as a human being. And I wanted to pass that on to the world, is I was able to learn about paid ads. And it was an absolute nightmare for me to learn. I'm not sure if you're anything like me, guys. I am not really tech savvy. I'd say I probably am now, because I've spent hundreds of hours running paid ads and doing a lot of technical stuff. But at the first time when I was running these ads, I remember I signed up on a Friday. We had an AFL game. I played AFL at the time on a Saturday. And then on that Saturday evening, I decided to set up our first paid ad. That took me 8 hours to do. I finished at about 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. A lot of my friends were out having beers and celebrating another amazing win because our team was pretty dominant at the time. And from that pain and that massive amount of setup, and I was only running ads at $5 a day, everything started to change. And over a 12-month period, our facility went from about 90 to 100 members to well over 800, and we actually own 2 gyms. And the crazy thing that you're probably wondering is, did anything else really change? Not really. We still had the same gym, we had the same trainers, we had the same programs, everything else was the same. But apart from learning how to generate 25 leads every single week using paid ads, is that forced us to innovate other systems that are very important for you to implement if you want to grow and scale. Now, if you want to grow and scale a company, you have to learn how to market and you have to learn how to sell. But it doesn't really make sense to get really good at sales unless you actually have people to sell. So what we were able to do is generate those 25 leads every single week very consistently. And then we implemented our sales systems off the back where we were able to convert those leads into paying prospects. And guys, if you are able to do that with inside your fitness business, you will become absolutely unstoppable, because any business that cannot generate enough leads to grow is not able to close enough sales, will not have to hire staff. You won't have to create operations checklists. You won't have to run team meetings and all those other complex things that happen as your business is scaling. Unless you are focused on generating enough leads, none of those good problems start to happen within your life, because you will be stuck on a hamster wheel, a little bit like I was, where you're really passionate, you know you're really good at what you do, you want to help more people, you want to change lives, but you simply just cannot get people to raise their hand that they're interested in working with you. And what I'm going to share with you now is the frameworks that I did personally that helped me scale a fitness business to over 1,200 members, $2.5 million a year in revenue, to be able to travel the world to Singapore and see and go to the Marina Bay Sands, to Bali, to the USA multiple times, to be able to live 3 months in Thailand at Unit 27, which was always a goal and aspiration of mine to experience that in my life. Every one of those amazing experiences, and I could tell you the amazing experiences for literally days, right? Because learning how to generate these 25 leads fundamentally changed the quality of my life forever. And it still changes the quality of my life each and every single day. And here's what really worked for me, because I hope that translating this over will give you some motivation and inspiration to potentially do the same in your own business. Now, the first thing I did is I hired someone that knew what they were doing. He had walked the path that I wanted to walk before me. He had extreme social proof and he had the runs on the board. And that was important for me because I really struggled to learn off someone unless they have something that I want and unless they have achieved something that I haven't, that I aspire to achieve. And that's really important in any mentor. You want to make sure that they have actually done what you want to achieve. And, hiring a mentor at this stage who just knew how to run paid ads didn't really make sense to me because I wanted to run a really profitable business. And the first thing he did focus on is paid ads, but then he actually had every tool and skill of what we needed to do to scale to multiple facilities. Little tips and tricks you learn along the way when you have the right mentors. And one of the biggest tips that I see so many people go wrong in a fitness business, especially when they're opening, is he told me one day, Jimmy, never open a gym unless you have $10,000 or more in marketing capital to grow that facility. Now, since I've transitioned from selling my gyms because I was more passionate in the marketing and sales and business growth side, and I thought that I could help more people by coaching hundreds of fitness business owners rather than opening multiple clubs because the expense was so massive, about 130 to 150 grand per club, is I've seen that same mistake over and over and over and over, where people just do not have money to market their business. So step one was finding a mentor that you believe in and that you can copy and just straight up rip their system. I wasn't changing anything. I just stole what he did because he was so kind to make a program that I could pay for, where then I had the right to steal everything he was doing and implement it within my own business. Now, the next point was I commanded that I would become the best student in that program. There was times where I missed birthday events that were planned for me because there was a 3-day event in Melbourne. I had to stop playing AFL the following year because I decided that my business and my financial success was more important than kicking and handballing a football around a park. And I say that loosely because I absolutely loved playing AFL. I loved it with my whole being. That's where all my friends were. That's where my networks were. But I knew that was not going to serve me to be able to create a life that I was really proud of and very, very happy living. I did minimum 1 hour study every single day. I attended every one of those calls, and they were at really annoying times. They're at like 12:30 in the day, some are at 7:30 in the morning. I would have to move sessions and move training and move things that I had to do to be there. But that's what it takes to be the best student. That's what it takes. It takes sometimes going outside of your comfort and sacrificing a little bit of personal stuff, potentially a little bit of business stuff, where I had to talk to my clients and go, hey, I'm doing this course. I really want to grow my business so that we can help more people. There's going to be times where I potentially have to move our sessions, especially on the weekdays. We got to change this around. And every 12 weeks, we have an event. I'm going to be away every Friday. Are you cool with that? And of course, everyone was really awesome about it. But I had to be a man at that stage and have those tough conversations. And those two things alone, of hiring the right mentor, studying 1 hour a day, coupled with the final point, and this is the most important, you must be willing to take massive action. You must be willing to do 1 hour of study every single day on your paid ads, but then couple that with 7 to 8 hours of good, solid work. Because watching a video doesn't teach you anything. It gives you a framework of what you actually need to do and what you can implement to be able to see success. But it's the action, which is the final ingredient, that actually helps you become a master at running your paid ads or becoming an amazing business owner. You don't get great by watching, you get great by actually doing, by being in the trenches. And why I'm so confident in paid ads today compared to what I was when it took me 8 hours to set up that first ad is I've now looked over millions of dollars in paid ads across multiple accounts, including my own, including other people, including the clients I've worked with, where I've become at a level where I now believe I have mastery status with inside running paid ads for fitness businesses. But then also as well, where action becomes so important, and I was talking to our Inner Circle members about this on Friday, is I was blessed to do over 3,000 consultations one-on-one. That meant that I sat down with someone over 3,000 times in 3 different clubs and learned how to sell them packages that changes their life forever. Now, you can go through a portal in any course that you're in, right? You can watch all their sales trainings, and I'm sure they're just teaching you hopefully what worked well for them in the past if we cover point 1 of finding a mentor that's actually achieved what you want to achieve. But it's those mass amount of sales consultations that help you overcome every objection, that help you increase your confidence, that help you actually know the systems back to front. and you've done consults where you've had no script, and then you've done consults where you've had a script, and you realize how much better it is actually having a flow and a script to be able to sell people on a very consistent basis. And right now in your business, you just need to know where you're at, especially in terms of lead generation, especially in terms of paid ads. And the question I'm going to ask you guys today is, if you're complaining about your lead generation, if you don't know how to generate 15, 20, 25 leads a week, have you implemented the basic strategies that are within your control right now? Because what is in your control is you can find a mentor who has achieved what you want to achieve, and you can pay them handsomely to be able to work for them and with them. You can do that today if you want, right? Because it's easy to learn off someone who has walked the path rather than making it up on your own. And you guys are in the coaching space. You are selling people on a service every single day on that it's easier to get results with a personal trainer or a gym than it is to do it on your own. So if you don't have a mentor, maybe it's time you take your own advice or drink the Kool-Aid, as people would say. But once you do that, the job's not done. How many people have you had in your fitness business who have paid you money and they've ended up being absolutely terrible students, where they're not following what you say, they're not being the best client, and that's on them. But it's also on you. If you join a coaching program and you don't command that you are the best student within that program, that you're attending the calls, that you're watching the videos, that you're implementing, that you're asking the right questions, then I'm very sorry, but that's on you. And you're the one that is making the mistake there. Because a coach and mentor can guide you to the promised land, but it's a 50-50 relationship. And you guys would know this from the clients that you coach every single day. So make sure that you're the best student. Make sure that you're taking in every piece of knowledge that is at your disposal to be able to change your business and change your life. And then finally, be a person that takes massive action. Be a person that when people talk about you at a cafe or a bar, they're like, man, that person gets so much work done. They are absolute beast. If they say they're going to do something, they do it. They have an absolutely insatiable work ethic. Right now, that person is so driven on creating an amazing fitness brand and company that it's really, really hard to get in contact with them because they're so laser focused. Because that's what it takes to create a high 6-figure or 7-figure fitness business. It's not easy, guys. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So why does no one have 7-figure fitness businesses when you look at it realistically? It would be under 1% of the fitness industry, right? And what it took to take our facility in Brookvale, right, to $1.2 million a year in annualized revenue, I could talk about it for days. The amount of sacrifice, the amount of hard work, the amount of errors, obviously the amount of big wins that we had. But it would absolutely blow your fucking mind if you actually had to realize how much work it took. It is not easy. Anyone that's trying to sell you that it's easy is lying to you, and they've probably never done it themselves, or they're not being honest with you about what it actually takes. And that's where you must be willing to do that 7 to 8 hours of really, really hard work and labor every single day to get your business into momentum. And then once that is done, you will be able to have a team where your freedom opens up somewhat. But if you're not able to generate those 15, 20, 25, 30 leads every single week, you will never have a team. You will never have freedom. You will be handcuffed to your business and find no way out, where you'll either start to resent what you're doing, you'll either settle for a very poor income and a very poor lifestyle, or you'll leave the industry, like so many people have done over the last 3 to 4 years. Why have they left? Because it got tough, because it got hard, because the creme de la creme of the fitness industry is now rising to the top. There's no hiding anymore, right? You must be world class at what you do. I was talking to a gym owner over in New Zealand yesterday on Messenger. He's had 2 facilities open up next to him within a 7-day period. Brand new BFT, it's looking sexy, their marketing's good, their training is primo. They are a well-run company, BFT. They are well-run. right? I've met the owner named Cameron Falloon. I got to talk to him for 30 minutes. That guy's a savage, right? They are not messing around, BFT. And then another gym opened, another small group training facility just down the road. And what the difference is you as the business owner. Are you better than them? Are you better at marketing? Are you better at sales? Are you better at delivery? Are you better at operations? Because if they're not, they're just going to absolutely crush you and annihilate you every single day of the week. So you must become the difference in 2023, and you must be the difference maker within your business. And it all starts with making sure that you can generate those 15, 20 to 25 leads every single week. And I just mapped out a basic framework that worked really, really well for me. Will it work for you? I'm not sure. But there's only one way to find out, which would be to implement that basic 3-step system for the next 90 days and see if your life and business is better than what it is today. I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. I hope you learn a little bit more about me and about my life and a few things that have really, really helped me get out of massive pain within my fitness business and about to quit, to being able to have a facility that was absolutely thriving, and then luckily being able to sell that facility because I found my passion was in coaching, marketing, and sales systems for you guys. I absolutely love it. I breathe about it. I sleep about it. So if you guys ever want to work with me in any capacity, as long as you want to generate more leads, as long as you want to close more sales, but more importantly, as long as you really want to help more people be healthier, happier, fitter, love the bodies that they are in, you guys can find me anytime on social media. But I want you guys to have the best day ever, because you do have the most important job in the world, which is helping more people reach their health and fitness goals. We know as a community, the world is not getting any fitter and healthier at the moment. So we need to step up as fitness business owners and lead the way to be able to help people be very, very happy in the bodies that they walk around in every single day. Bye bye, guys.